Alright, so I survived season 1. It wasn't easy, but damn it, I got through it. Alright, Game of Thrones, like I promised, I'm gonna watch all the seasons, and my cousin, we made a deal. She has to watch all the Star Wars, so alright. I'm holding up my end, you gotta hold up your end. So season 1, I got through it. I survived it. This is my second time around watching season 1, and I will say that I do appreciate it more the second time around. Like now, I got stuff that I didn't get the first time because the first time confused the hell out of me. It bored the hell out of me. So I said, you know what, forget this. I'm done with this. I'll just be the minority of people that don't like Game of Thrones. But watching it again, I really paid attention to it this time. I put my phone down and really just try to really pay attention. But there were times where I did still pick my phone up and look because as much stuff that grabbed my attention, that interested me, there were just as many moments where I lost interest and I'm like, okay, this just lost me now. Now, I'm gonna go into spoiler talk, so if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, turn the video off, come back after you watch it because I'm going into spoiler territory here because most of the people that's gonna watch this video anyway have already seen Game of Thrones, okay? Season 1 was a slow burn, but it was good. I did enjoy it, okay? Even though it was slow as hell, but I get it. It's character development similar to how Breaking Bad season 1 was, where we introduce these characters, we develop these characters, and then you put them in some real situations. The things that pissed me off about season 1, first of all, my favorite character was Drago, if I'm saying his name right, also known as the Aquaman, Jason Momoa. I thought he killed it in this role as Drago. He was a man of few words, but he had a presence, and as a matter of fact, this guy was my hero. Like, I'm like, this guy is a tyrannosaur, and I want to be like him when I grow up. Like, he was a warrior, he was a king, his people feared him, they respected him, and he really didn't have to say nothing. And even when it came down to his wife, to his bride, man, there was no smooth talking, there was no romancing and wooing her. Not that I have anything against that, but he just had his way with her, man, and she fell in love with him. And he didn't really have to say anything, he just laid it down. Like, man, this guy was a beast. He was my favorite character, and he died, and it was because of her. What is her name? Khaleesi? I think that's her name. It's funny, like she's as white as can be, but she got a black girl's name. And I think very few would dispute that, okay? Because everything was going good. She's about to have a son. He was happy. He had that little rant where he was going off. He was excited. And then she had to break tradition. And because she broke a Dothraki tradition, his man turned on him and they had a fight to the finish, which resulted in one of the most brutal deaths I've ever seen. Like, when Drago took my man's tongue from out of his throat, like, that put what Patrick Swayze did in Roadhouse to shame. He had that wound. Khaleesi had the witch to try to fix it, but instead the witch made it worse and ended up killing him, killing his horse, put him in brought him back to put him in a vegetable state. That witch knew what she was doing, and I'm like, Khaleesi, damn you, because all this could have been avoided if you would just let them people do what they did. You would have had your son, and then y'all would have lived happily ever after. But everything happens for a reason. It was destiny. I guess it's part of the prophecy. She had to have the dragons. She had to become the dragon lady. So Drago had to go. Joffrey. King Joffrey. I told my cousin, I said, look here, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this show because of this kid, man. This kid is just a vile piece of you know what. I can't stand this kid. I like the actor because the actor's doing his thing. But the character, oh my God. And she told me exactly, my cousin told me exactly, Rashad, you ain't seen nothing yet. This kid is, yeah, you haven't seen shit yet. And I said, damn. Lord Stark was one of the main characters of this show. And I thought he was going to stick around for a while. But no, this dude got offed in the first season, and make it so bad, he promised Stark's daughter, who is now his lady, his queen, that as long as he confesses that I'm the king, your father will live. And he broke that promise and off with his head. And I said, wow. And then to have her look at her daddy's head on a stick and just have her stare at it. In the moment where she was like, how long do I have to look at it? as long as it pleases me. From my understanding, okay, you have the Starks, the Lannisters, the Night's Watch, which is where Jon Snow went. And by the way, Jon Snow is another favorite character of mine. Yeah, Jon Snow and Drogo, even Lord Stark were three of my favorite characters. Oh, and Peter Dinklage's character, the dwarf. I can't remember his name. I like him too because he's smart, and I can tell he manipulates and he just outsmarts everybody because of his lack of size and lack of fighting skills. He makes up for it in brain power, and he just has his way mentally with a lot of these people. So I like his character as well. The character of Littlefinger, who is Mayor Calcutta from The Wire, he's a slimy piece of crap as well. He's like a pimp. Like, dude is like a pimp. Like, there was a scene where I know I gotta keep it PG on here, man, but there's nothing PG about this show. But he had a scene where he was talking to, I guess, a couple of his girls or whatever, man, and they were engaging in some activity. And that scene, I was like, okay. You know, it's amazing this show isn't X-rated because there are some graphic sex scenes in this show. Incest, homosexuality, like everything, man. The deaths are brutal. Like, it's amazing this show ain't get like a NC-17 X rating damn near, man. So that's my season 1 roundup. I probably didn't go into depth like I probably should have. I'm just going over the things that I did enjoy. Like, I did enjoy the fight scenes. The battles were very intense and brutal, and there's some times where somebody would get killed and they would have the camera focus on the death. Like, I saw a dude when they were having the night games, and the wood went through my man's throat, and you see him on the ground, and you see him just coughing up blood and bleeding to death, and I'm like, okay, is the camera gonna cut away? But no, the camera does not cut away. The camera shows all the grotesque brutality that happens on this show. Good show so far. I give it a B-. Now, the question is, will this show crack my top 5 shows of all time? Let's see what the winter has to offer. Let's see if the Game of Thrones can please me enough to where I can put it in my top 5. Let's see if we can do that. I feel like I sounded like Obi-Wan when I said that. Non-Game of Thrones related news. I just found out yesterday that the role of Ivan Drago's son has been cast. He's a Romanian boxer by the name of... what is his name? I tried to memorize the guy's name, but he's a Romanian boxer. His nickname is Big Nasty. And this guy looks like a straight up beast. He's 6'4", looks more monstrous than Ivan Drago. And I'm like, dang, this is who Adonis has to fight? Because at first, your boy, the UFC light heavyweight guy, Sage Northcutt, he was trying to get the role for Ivan Drago's son, but he's a UFC lightweight. Nah, dude, there's nothing lightweight about Drago. Drago's a beast. His son has to be a beast. Donnie needs to take on a beast, and no disrespect to Sage Northcutt because I know he can choke me out within a second, but yeah, as far as playing Drago's son, nah, dude, nah. This guy right here that they picked, this guy right here looks like an absolute monster, and I can't wait to see this, man. I think Creed 2 drops this year. For those of you that don't know, I'm a big Rocky fan. That's one of my favorite franchises ever. Rocky 3 is my favorite movie ever. So anything Rocky related, I'm excited and I love it, except for part 5. So yeah, that's my review. Thank you for watching. As always, this is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.